Several years ago, I was in a debate with Michael Shermer and Sam Harris, and the debate was about, if God exists or whatever. And by the way, I'm done with debates. They're all ego confrontations and nobody changes their minds. But in any case, the debate was televised, national TV, by one of the networks, and the moderator was Dan Harris. Sam Harris was the debater, moderator was Dan Harris, and during the break, he brought somebody to the microphone. It turned out that it was Leonard Malodnow, the co-author of Grand Design by Stephen Hawking. And he said, there's a physicist here who thinks you're full of shit, and he wants to talk to you. So Leonard came to the microphone and he said, how do you define consciousness? And I said, it's the superposition of all possibilities. And he kind of laughed. He said, I know what the superposition of possibilities is, which is common term, and singularity and all that. It's not what, what you're saying. Everybody had laughed, that segment went viral, I was owned, etc., etc. And in any case, Leonard and I became good friends after that because we both were in pursuit of understanding each other. And we wrote a book called War of the Worldviews. And I'm happy that he came up and made that comment and ridiculed me. Now, reflecting back on that, I could have phrased it better. Consciousness is the superposition of all your possible lives or all your possible experiences. So I want to explore that with you today. If I told you right now, every possible version of your life already exists in consciousness, would that change how you live this moment? So in the next few minutes, I want to explore a radical idea, and that is that unmanifest consciousness is like a superposition of possibilities of experience. And manifest consciousness is the innumerable varieties of experience actually playing out as your life, my life, and the life of the universe. Let's begin with a simple assertion. Consciousness is not in the world. The world is in consciousness. Every sensation, thought, memory, and perception appears to awareness, within awareness, and then dissolves back into that same awareness. So if you close your eyes for a moment, experience becomes very simple. There is knowing, and there are changing appearances in that knowing. This knowing itself, pure awareness, before it takes on any particular content, is what I'm calling unmanifest consciousness. Now, physics offers a useful metaphor here. That's why this confrontation with Leonard. At the quantum level, before observation, a particle doesn't sit in one definite place. It exists as a spread of possibilities, a superposition of many potential states. In the same way, unmanifest consciousness is like a superposition of all possible experiences. Every thought that could arise, every word that could appear, every storyline that could unfold, all exists in pure consciousness. In that state, nothing is yet separated, categorized, or fixed. There's an infinite reservoir of potential experience, undivided and timeless. This is consciousness before it says, I'm this body, or this is my life, and this is the world. It's like an ocean before any individual waves are named, or the white light containing every color before it passes through a prism. Now, what happens when consciousness looks at itself in a particular way? Or just as measurement in quantum physics collapses a superposition into one definite outcome, attention collapses the infinite potential of unmanifest consciousness into a particular experience. This thought, this sensation, this moment in your personal story. This is manifest consciousness, the felt, lived experience of being a person in a body, in a world, at a particular time. Every perception, hearing these words, for example, feeling your breath, remembering your past, is one way the infinite potential of consciousness is crystallizing into a specific pattern of experience right now. Importantly, nothing actually leaves consciousness to appear. The wave doesn't leave the ocean to become a wave. It is simply the ocean appearing in a particular form. In the same way, manifest consciousness is not separate from unmanifest consciousness. It is unmanifest consciousness in motion, taking on a form. So look at the diversity of existence. Billions of human perspectives, countless life forms, stars, galaxies, universes, these days according to string theory, infinite universes. Each of these is a unique configuration of experience arising within the same field of awareness. From the standpoint of manifest consciousness, it appears as a vast multiplicity, my life and your life, joy and sorrow, birth and death, flattery and abuse, vilification, attack, divine and diabolical, sacred and profane. So, from the standpoint of unmanifest consciousness, they're all inseparable possibilities within one indivisible wholeness. You can think of it this way. Unmanifest consciousness is the superposition of all possible lives you could ever live. Manifest consciousness is the life you're living right now, moment by moment, as one particular trajectory through that infinite possibility space. But even as one path plays out, the field of all possibilities is never diminished. Just as choosing one color on a screen doesn't exhaust the palette. Any experience you have leaves the infinite potential of consciousness untouched. Why does this matter for your everyday life? Because when you recognize that your current experience is one way consciousness is collapsing, it is one of many possible narratives in you, then you're not limited to the story your mind is currently telling you. That story is not defining you either. And then, of course, compassion occurs as a natural outcome. Every being you meet is another way consciousness is manifesting itself, a different collapse of the same universal potential. And this leads to creativity. You can participate more consciously in how attention chooses and stabilizes certain patterns, thoughts, beliefs, actions out of the superposition of possibilities. So, unmanifest consciousness is the superposition of all possibilities of experience. Manifest consciousness is the innumerable varieties of experience that arise from that same field. Your life right now is included. So, what's the invitation here? Notice that you're not just the wave of experience you're currently identified with. You're also the ocean of possibility it comes from, dances in, and returns to, over and over in every moment. So I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope you join me again on the Chopra well. Aham Brahmasmi. You are the universe. Thank you, Sam Harris. Thank you, Dan Harris. And thank you, Michael Sharma, for the opportunity to explain myself. Although they say every explanation is an apology in disguise.